Kayla Whitaker here. I teach second grade here at Madison. Over the summer, I had the privilege of teaching a professional development with Cassie Guy and Becky Bice, two fabulous teachers if you don't know them. And that PD was all about the 5 components of literacy and how to incorporate them with the 4 domains of language to help our English language learners and to boost that reading comprehension and fluency for them, as well as the academic language. We're going to kind of split this video into 2 parts today. I'm just going to talk about the 5 components of literacy, and then in the next video I'll talk about the 4 domains of language and how to put them both together. So the 5 components of literacy, it's phonemic awareness, phonics, fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension. And they all, it's like building blocks. So they build upon each other, and a student is never really going to succeed at comprehension unless they have all the parts underneath of it under their belt. So when we think about building a skilled reader, again, there's that language comprehension piece, and then there's also the word recognition piece. The language comprehension really has to do with the vocabulary and the comprehension part, and the word recognition is more about the phonemic awareness and the phonics. Fluency is kind of that bridge between the phonemic awareness and phonics pieces and the comprehension and the vocabulary pieces. But the very first building block, I guess, is the phonemic awareness piece. Students start with this in kindergarten. That's when they are given a word. They don't see it written anywhere, and they have to identify the sounds in the word. So, for example, they're given the word cat, and they have to sound it out. K-at, cat. I still do that practice with my second graders. It's really great for our English language learners to help them hear the different sounds that make up a word. And that's really important because later on, when they get to the next stage, which is phonics, they start to connect the sounds that they were hearing in words with the actual written letters, so that they can start decoding words in print. And that's kind of what we test with like the phonics decoding on the PBA. Teaching them those strategies is really, really important. Once students have a grasp about phonics, then you can move on to the fluency piece. So that's really building automaticity in their decoding so that they can read and it doesn't sound like a robot. They start to build speed, and they start to become more accurate readers, which is really the key to getting them to comprehend text, because they're not a fluent reader and they're so focused on trying to figure out what a word is saying, they're never going to be able to read well enough that they can put together the meaning of a whole text. So things that I do in my classroom to build fluency, I do daily repeated partner reads. So that means that they get a short passage, and they set themselves a goal of how many words they want to read in 1 minute. They read down the whole page as fast as they can, trying to make as little errors as possible. And then their partner is marking any mistakes that they make. And then they record where they stop so they can then give their partner feedback on how they did. And I do that 3 different times. So they get that practice of, okay, now I'm going to try to read even further. Or now I'm going to try to make less mistakes. But they have that partner there to help catch them. Because some friends, they're just not good at self-correcting yet, so their partner really brings awareness to, oh, you read that word wrong, go back and try again. Because we want to build accurate readers who are fast readers, but that accuracy piece is probably the most important piece before building the speed. Another component of literacy is vocabulary. So we work on vocabulary in every subject, which is awesome. The thing that I do the most is I have students read the word, spell the word, we read the definition, and then we read it in sentences and discuss the word. But I always make them act out the word. So I have them come up with a motion for the word so that when we see it in the reading, they can quickly make the motion to help them remember the meaning of the word. Another really great strategy is to have them draw the vocabulary words and come up with their own definitions. So I love using that word organizer that Cam and Steve showed us at the writing PD they did last semester. It's super great for helping students collaborate and talk about the words and come up with the meaning so that they really can remember it in the text. And one thing about vocabulary, those words that have multiple meanings can be really, really tricky. So calling attention to multiple meaning words is super important for our English language learners. The last component is comprehension. So once they've got a solid foundation in all of those other components, comprehension can be really worked on. And I know we kind of don't think about starting comprehension until second grade when they start reading to learn, but I think it's super important in the earlier grades to start embedding some of those comprehension skills and strategies so that when they get to third, fourth, and fifth grade, they already have those they already have those skills and they're used to be asking comprehension questions. Just like even though we really work on phonemic awareness and phonics and fluency in the lower grades, it's still important to keep working on those in upper grades, especially for English language learners who come in and who have missed all of that instruction in English. So with comprehension, that's really the cognitive interaction between the reader and the text to help them understand the meaning and make meaning of what they're reading. Wonders is great for this because we work on the skills, what they need to know, and we work on the strategies, which is how they're going to get to that knowledge. And things that I love to use are foldables, graphic organizers, anything that I can make engaging for my students so that it doesn't just feel like work, but it's actually fun to dive into those stories and figure out the meaning behind it. So that's part one. Those are the 5 components, and this happened in like a 3-hour PD, so I know that was pretty fast. If you have any other questions, please let me know. And after this, we'll talk about the 4 domains of language. Thanks.